Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on loops or repetition structures. So this one we're going to talk about the while loop. While loop, hopefully at this point we've talked about some data types. A Boolean value is a true or false value. So while loops work pretty much the same way. A while loop it tests if something is true or false. If it is true, then it will go ahead and do that execution, else it will end the loop. So in this example, what we're going to do is come up with an exercise and this will become more of a real life situation. So let's think that we work at the post office, or we work for Amazon, or whatever the case is. And in this case is we're going to develop a program using a while loop, and what we're going to do is we're going to let it know whether we want to receive packages or we don't want to receive packages. So in that sense, we'll kind of walk through and we'll kind of wing it as we go. So let's go ahead and start off with a new script. We'll do new. I'm just going to do file like I did last time. Let's see here, file. I'll call it the while. Oops. I'll call it the while lesson.py. All right, perfect. All right, there we go. It's gonna take a second or two to catch up. All right, so it looks like we're finally caught up. All right, so let's start off. This program will receive packages from customers. I'll put. All right, so the first thing that we need to do is create a variable. So in this case, we'll call it receive. Let's see here. Let me think of a better way. Receive packages equals, and we'll put Y for yes. So we're asking receive packages, yes or no. All right. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to calculate a series of questions. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to start off with while. So this will be where we enter our loop at. We'll say while, and then we use receive packages, and we're saying, hey, if it equals Y, then we're going to keep going on. So that's the thing. So let's say that we have a program that goes on and checks to see if, let's say that there's a customer. Let me put it down here. For example, say that let's go up here real quick. So let's say that we have this customer, Bob Celtic, okay, or Ralph Cavalier. So these two customers are people that receive packages, and what we're doing is checking to see if. All right, so we have while receive packages equals Y, okay? All right, sorry, so while receive package equals Y. I apologize, I have a contract here at the house and I got interrupted. All right, so let's create a variable name, and we'll say customer sales equals, and we'll give it a float, and we'll say input, and we'll say enter the monthly cost. So what's his or her monthly cost to use our service, basically, is what we're trying to say here. I'll leave a space in there so we can enter a number, and then also we want to get a percentage rate. So now we want to talk about a rate being a percentage that the salesperson receives for selling that that product to that customer, whatever monthly service that they have. So we'll say percentage equals float input. I notice I have an error up there. The percentage or commission rate per se up here. So why is that giving me a problem right now? Oh, you have to have a colon here so it knows what to do. So I noticed that when I was typing that up. All right, so that right there will get the information. Now what we need to do is calculate. We need to calculate the sale. So I'd say the you know what, let's change this around. Customer sales. Let's make this monthly fee. That's better. We'll say calculate the monthly fee. This is better. All right. So what we'll do here is we'll say the commission rate. We'll say commission rate equals the monthly fee, and we'll multiply it by the percentage, whatever that is. And then we will display the results. So we'll say print the commission for this monthly cost is $. Then we'll do comma. Oops. We'll do enter here. Give us some room. We'll do a format, and then in the format we'll do whatever we call it. We call it com rate. So we're getting that value, and then we're saying comma. Oops. Can't write. Comma tick. Comma dot 2f. Yeah, there we go. That looks good. And then we want to put a separation at the end here. I'm going to do sep equals, and you can actually do this without separation. It should still work. Just something I got used to utilizing when I learned how to do programming in Python. All right. So lastly, we want to. All right. So we want to see if it. We want to. Well, let's just run this and see what happens for now. So. Oops, run. All right, so enter the monthly cost. We'll say it's $15.99. Pretty easy, right? And what's the percentage? We'll say 4. All right, so you notice here, let me move this up. So what happens here, it comes up with a calculation, and it says, calculation 63.96 because they're using 4%. So let's enter another price, and let's say, oh, this one is $16.99. What's the percentage? That's a little bit more because it depends. It's like if you go and get a membership at the gym, the rate changes all the time. It just depends on what you notice. All right, it's asking us for another amount. So we'll say this one's a $99.99 monthly fee, and what's the percentage? It's only 1.25%. Well, still 124. But you notice here what's happening in here is in this loop, it keeps going through because this is while receive packages equals y. It keeps reiterating because we're not telling it that it equals something else. So now we need a program to allow it to, stop. So in this case, what we could do is we could come down here and say receive packages equals, and we could give them a input, like a prompt, and say, do you want to stop calculating? And then we could do plus, and we could do com rate. We could just do this. Do you want to stop calculating? And put enter y for yes. Running out of room here. So let's see what happens here. You want to stop calculating? Yes. All right, so that didn't work. Let me see what I did wrong. All right, so I went and changed this around a little bit. It's still the same rate. It's still the same thing. Calculating. We'll just put this here. So we're saying, do you want to stop calculating the percentage right here? If we run it, what we're looking for is we're using this same value for while receive is equals y. So it just keeps looping and say y equals y. While receive packages equals y. So we're going to put something else in there. In this case, we're going to put N for no. I'll show you a couple things that we could do. So move this up here real quick. Monthly costs $55.99. Whoops, I use a plus there so it doesn't recognize it. We don't have a something in there to prevent that. So we'll do $55.99. What's our rate? I'll say 5%. Do you want to calculate still? I hit N for no. It finishes. But let me show you something else. So if I do $5.99, 5%, let's enter the word O in there. See, it stops. As long as it's Y, anything but Y, it's going to stop. It doesn't matter what it is, unless we haven't talked about it yet. Yeah, we have at this point. But if we put a conditional statement in here, then we could check and say if receive packages equals N, then stop it, else just keep going. So we could do something like that. Another thing is we could come in here and just do this. We come down here and hashtag this out and say receive packages equals N. So, oops, let me hashtag this out too. Now if I run it, this is what will happen, is it'll run it the first time, 55, 5%, automatically ends it because we're changing this value. We're saying that it doesn't equal Y anymore, so it needs to stop. So that is how the while loop works. Thanks for listening. If you have questions, you know how to reach me. Good day.